Kevin.
Yeah, I just started recording now.
Michael,
Hey.
can we record this?
Yeah, it's recording now.
All right, perfect. Awesome.
Okay, guys, welcome back. It was a long break, but let's just get the momentum started again.
Yeah, it was a nice long break.
Yeah, nice long break. So, just before going for the break, we had a meeting, so I was just looking at the notes, what we discussed about. So, first of all, I think we should decide on what's going to be our direction going forward. If we are thinking of in the same direction, what we decided before we left for vacation, like keep on working on our model and trying to improve it, then what we decided was that going forward, me, Sydney, and Kevin will start working on our deck get into like to approach potential customers and try to get in touch with our entrepreneur in residence at Columbia. Like those are the people who can help us get in touch with our customers. Try to get information about those potential funding and what other competitions where we can participate. And Michael, Jinwei, Chris, and Sean will work on, first of all, finishing the existing prototype. Mike, as you suggested, creating a website with a video where people can comment about the experience and like how we will build the prototype, and look into the next steps or of how we want to optimize the prototype. So this is what we decided around a month back. And so let's see if we want to go with the same plan and or we want to think about any other different direction.
Well, thanks, Achal. I think the Mike already expressed that we should stick to our original plan. Never mind.
It'd be great to listen to first everyone's thoughts. Oh, Sean dropped out.
Oh no, I think Sean's still there.
Okay.
He's just moving around.
Okay, sounds good. So, like, yeah, let's just see what everyone thinks, and then we can decide.
Yeah, like Sydney was saying, what I was thinking was, we had a long vacation, but I don't want us to because right before the vacation we had a nice hangout, and we were really, getting ready to start executing. So I don't think we should go from that to completely changing product ideas. I think we should, continue with our plan and start to execute on deliverables for the product and start to bring it to life. And I was lucky enough to support my stance with that great news from Virgin Galactic.
Yeah.
Them doing their satellite constellation, which I haven't actually checked into it too much yet, but it looks like he's partnering with another company to create a new satellite internet company. So it's looking like there's going to be a bunch of them in the next 5 years. So, and also to consider too, that they're probably, I don't know. I'd imagine the ground receiver is probably not the main focus, right? The big challenge for them is the actual satellite. So the ground receiver is not like take Outernet for example, right? They at least that's what Saeed said. He doesn't really want to focus on ground receivers if he doesn't have to. Their new product is really nice, and maybe that will maybe he'll pivot because the lantern's so nice. But there's still room for other devices to get to receive the signal as well, and to to do it differently. So.
I just think the partnership that Virgin Galactic made is with the same company that SpaceX was planning to partner with earlier. When everybody got that tweet about how Elon Musk wants to put a huge constellation of small sats up for telecommunications and internet. I think that's the same partnership, the same company that SpaceX is going to partner with. Now it's just Virgin Atlantic providing that funding instead.
Do we know why SpaceX decided not to fund that?
I don't know if it was SpaceX's decision necessarily. Maybe maybe I don't know the answer, but maybe it's the case that Virgin Atlantic gave them better terms. Who knows exactly?
Maybe SpaceX is still doing it, and that company's just doubling up on their contracts.
Isn't the guys who are from used to work at Google?
Yeah, that's right. I think they're their former Google. I'm not sure what they were working on, but sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting.
Okay, so what happens to the existing SpaceX contract with this company? That being,
I'm not sure. I think it was all. I mean, I don't know mostly. I just read some of the articles that got posted on Facebook. I think it was. I forget what the name of the company was, but they were previously going to do a contract with SpaceX and now they do. And SpaceX might still decide, we can just fund our own operations. Maybe, they think that that's sort of like a for-profit arm that they can establish. Probably is if they can back themselves. I think the technology can do its thing. Mike, can you hear okay, by the way? And Sean?
A little bit. It's kind of hard.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm almost confident that you guys are far away.
did I being in the theater,
I got to project.
Did we go more closer to the laptop?
We can move it in a little bit. Yeah, we can pull that a little bit. I think we also want to keep everybody in view as well.
So another point is, the communication and navigation market, satellites, is a cutthroat market.
Mm-hmm.
And the Earth observation is the one which has, the so-called low-hanging fruit. Yeah. But before, Earth observation is, far more difficult proposition to implement. That's just the complexity of Earth.
Do you mean by Earth observation, you mean imaging?
Besides imaging. Yeah, and within that, optical, IR, and microwave, that order of complexity.
What do you mean by imaging?
That's like skybox.
I agree with them.
That's the most
Definitely.
being able to take pictures and do real-time processing and big data analytics and go with it. So, in some ways, satellite market is not like an independent, commercial market. It is an extension of your terrestrial market. So your navigation and communication is, it's an extension of terrestrial market and mobile market. And it's a corner of that. And it's already, all the major players are there. And big satellites actually do bring in some inherent advantage because they're complete system solutions. And big boys, which are primarily a lot of big defense companies, they have a chokehold on this market. So I'm not expressing any cynicism or skepticism, but it's just a question. How liquid or deep is this market, and what is the growth potential? Or is this just an experimental attempt to suss it out?
Our differentiator was going to be that we were going to, one of the ideas was we were going to have an open source side to it, or at least we were going to experiment with that. And so my argument has been once you open source anything, you create the potential to create an ecosystem from that. There's a really good documentary right now on Netflix about 3D printing, and they really express the point nicely, where 3D printing has actually been around for a while with these big multinationals, but now that it's getting into the hands of the consumers, it's actually doing innovative things. And now the multinationals are now switching back into the consumer market. I'm not saying that there's a consumer market for satellite receivers yet, but I'm saying that the open source prosumer thing is something that we talked about exploring. And then yeah, I think it's the other big thing is that we were trying to make a cheaper satellite. So yeah, there's the big players, and they basically do media distribution, but that's not what we wanted to do. Actually, we wanted to enable access, and that's what these big internet like Virgin Galactic and SpaceX and Google, that's what they want to do, is they want to enable internet to the far reaches of the world, and that would require a cheaper satellite, many more times cheaper satellite receiver than the big players that you mentioned. So that was one of the big differentiators. Also, to be a self-sustaining unit that was very straightforward to set up, and yeah, to make it cheaper. There was one other point, but I forget.
Can I question or critique the last point? So it's not clear to me, right? So all this talk of small satellites being able to solve this problem of accessibility. So one thing which is very obvious is basically, small sats being implies smaller processing, communication, capabilities. I mean, that's the nature of the beast, right? So
Many small sets.
yeah, many small, and also the life, the length, the longevity is order of magnitude smaller, right? So this is basically a flying laptop, right? So this thing will last maybe a year, maybe 2 years, but not like for long-term basis. You need to keep throwing up new sats repeatedly. So I don't have answers to this, but has anyone carried out a very rigorous analysis saying, okay, well, 300 small sats by company ABC versus one gigantic satellite costing $2 billion by Hughes Network, which is like the size of a 18-wheeler, we can comprehensively solve this problem. Okay.
It can comprehensively solve the problem. I mean, one of the advantages of small sats instead of big sats. So big sats are more durable, more hardware, more input-output capabilities, I guess. But of course, small sats are distributed. There's many of them. There's safety redundancies. You can basically cover much more of the surface more reliably. And so that's the key advantage, because you have more coverage. And potentially one of the things about having it be through SpaceX and Virgin Atlantic instead of the typical navigation sort of market dominance companies is that you don't have the same censorship issues that you traditionally worry about from traditional internet providers. Now, I don't know if that would be necessarily the same. I mean, like if you're talking about North Korea or Syria or basically all the areas that Outer is trying to help, maybe that's an issue that small sats are uniquely positioned to address. Maybe not. I'm not sure on that one. But I think coverage is certainly an important part to think about. And I think in terms of sustainability, certainly when SpaceX was entertaining this idea, I think the business model was just that you would charge a small rate for internet access. So I think if you factor in the size of the market and around a business model like that, where it's sort of a subscription type model, that's a potentially very profitable business and a sustainable one, even if it means launching new small sats every year or so. I mean, we would have to go through the analysis more rigorously to have a license that could be sustainable.
So rough analogy is right. I mean, mainframe versus distributed computing. And which brings inherent advantages for some great operations.
Yeah, but maybe going back to the issue now, right? Deciding if we stick to the receivers, right, or do something else. Did we have time to take a look on the technical challenges to develop the new device that we're planning to do? Jim Wei did some studies about it.
I don't know.
No, we haven't really had a chance to look into that stuff yet. As much as we know is it's KU band, L band, or I think there's one other one. But yeah, so just working with those different frequency bands, and for OuterNet's case, we would be receiving the KU, I think it is, and then interfacing that with some of their software and delivering that content. So and as we were trying to do with our little DIY project, it was a little bit more complex than we thought, but people have done it before. It sounds like, so it is possible with off-the-shelf parts. So it's not in that perspective, it's not anything. That part's not too crazy. Um, and then the idea that we had of fusing the USB tuner with our custom circuit board, that's definitely doable. And Sean would know a little bit more about that probably. But it's yeah, it's not like it's not too like high tech.
Yeah, I think there are two issues that probably we need to take into consideration in order to make a decision, right? If we, as Achal mentioned, like, we have set some goals, right, for the product. It has to be cheap, right? And it has to be done, and the product has to be, we should be able to do it, right? So in terms of the technical specs, this seems to be feasible, right? On the cost side, uh, do we have some more background information about how close we can get to the $50 mark that we?
I think that will require some technical research, like you need to do some research on the product, and then only you can come up with those, like at least the estimate of the cost numbers and how the feasibility of how you can make it. So that will require some research from everyone.
But then we need to know like what are the technical specs first, right? Like what are the components, and then we would have the price for each component.
Yes, so that's the thing, investigation that needs to be done to identify, first of all, build the prototype that we have right now, and then identify where we can simplify, where we can modify and make the cost cheaper, things like that, and then only we can come up with an estimate, and then match that with this cost, will people buy this thing or not? And then we can, yeah, so things like that. So then only we can make that decision. But yes, the initial investigation will be required.
What was our consensus before about kind of where we are regarding open source versus closed?
So I think what we decided was, at least initially, let's start with the, build your own device thing and get get your own, get that online, and then start looking into how we're going to make our product, gonna like the specialized product that we can target customers, direct customers. And regarding the open source, Mike, I don't think I think we agreed on open source, right? Or we were
We
still
had the meeting at
discussing
the
that we'll look into that when the decision comes, because that wasn't the decision we had to take right then. So I think what we decided is let's go with this thing, and as we move on, then we will decide on the open source.
Yeah, if you remember our meeting, guys.
Hi, happy New Year. Good, how are you? Hi.
Good, thanks.
Hi, Archer. Nice to meet you.
John, nice to meet you.
Archer.
We're just finishing something about our project, and then maybe 15 minutes we went to the next discussion.
Yeah.
So guys, feel free to get some water.
So, guys, I think going forward, what we should do is spend some time on this project, look into the area and see what, either we agree on whatever the steps that we've decided, are we going to go forward with this, or we're going to come up with something new, and that's what we want to start working on. And let's make a decision very early. Let's meet probably next Tuesday or sometime, if possible, either through Hangout or out here, and make that decision, because we shouldn't be wasting more time. If we want to go in this direction, we should start working on it soon.
I agree.
Yeah. I rewatched our hangout from right before the break, and we talk about exactly how we're gonna start working, and I already created different teams in Asana and stuff, and so we know kind of what we need to start doing, and then also to reiterate, like we were saying about the open source or not, what we said at the Fat Cat restaurant when we were there that night was that we were going to try to have parts of the product that were closed source and parts of it that were open source, and we were going to just do a marketing experiment and see how basically which was stickier,
Mhm.
and start to focus on that one. I think the open source platform model will do better. Like if we give those versions out to universities, we were considering giving some to some universities, and the yeah, I don't know. I think I th- I like open source too much, but yeah, that's what we said. That's what we said at the Fat Cat Lab and in our last hangout. So
Okay. Yeah, I think let's meet again on Tuesday, and all of us at least should have a decision, like at least our board, that what we should be doing, and then make the final call on Tuesday.
Pretty good. I think by then we have time to think about.
Yeah, because we just got back from vacation, so just to look at the previous things or whatever is going on, and then let's just make a call on Tuesday.
Yeah. Like, where can we see those previously recorded videos?
I think they're on the NewSpace Google Plus page. Let me see.
I never thought in my life that I would use Google Plus.
No, it's just Facebook.
I know.
I think it'd be good for me at least to recap on a lot of those things. 'Cause otherwise, we're probably going to be recapping. We're
Exactly,
repeat
yeah.
ourselves like the last half hour of
Yeah.
our conversation. I would think, having taken some time off and just sort of looked at the big picture, I would just sort of observe that there are really two things that have happened since this project was initiated that's sort of outside of our own sphere of influence, and those are, number one, Outernet has made Lantern, or proposed to make Lantern. In the beginning, our assumption was that they have no intent to build any ground receiver. And the second thing that's happened is Elon Musk / Richard Branson are going to make space internet in 2016, 2017. And that's pretty much an inevitability at this point. So I think those are just really two big things that I think would really motivate where this should go going forward.
Mm-hmm. So Mike, can we set up the next hangout for 10 o'clock on Tuesday?
Sure.
Works for me. Also, okay, so Mike, I also want to look at the previous videos. If not, then is there a link that you can send us?
Yeah, I'll email it now. And I also created a Google Doc for our agenda so we can take some notes.
Awesome.
And yeah, so I'll send those to you.
That's a good point. How should we integrate this to Asana? The idea initially was to use Asana as a repository for all this data.
I think like having agendas in Google Docs and then after the meeting translating those into action items is a good way to do it. At least that's how we did it at Solex, and it seemed to work out pretty good. So like every now and then, like you have the agenda meetings and stuff like that, but like every day you should have the habit of like going into Asana and just checking on things and stuff. So.
By the way, are we done with the discussion with the topic?
Yeah, I think we are. I think the only thing is, Sean, do you want to talk about the funding part, that the email that you sent? If you can still hear us. Sean, are you there?
How about now?
Yeah.
Hello?
Hey.
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, so we're talking to Bev Corwin, and she saw like the Midtown video that I was working on. That's going to be like a building, and she said she told this person from like Central Command, and they're like, oh, that's a great project. So they're looking for different projects that could relate to like saving our troops' lives. And there's, I sent the specs, and there's a whole bunch of different requirements that they have, and a lot of them are kind of like loosely knit things. Like communications would be one thing, something like that to have communications on the field. And I would like to look at our projects and see if there's any of our projects that we can submit to them and get funding. They typically fund projects from 3 million to 30 million. So I was thinking we might have a good chance if we take like 10 projects and submit just like the quad sheet. It's pretty simple, just like one page with the write-up. And then at the end of the month, he's going to be coming by and we can meet and see if they like any of the projects.
Yeah, Sean, we cannot hear you, bro. There's some background noise here.
So, how about now? I'm not sure if I'm on the microphone or if I'm on the headset. So, how's this?
This is better
Is
now.
the headset? Okay, so I'm on the headset.
Good.
So yeah, they're looking for projects, and they're going to be meeting at the end of the month. And they typically fund projects from $3 million to $30 million. And each one of the quad sheets can be a different project that we had when we first brainstormed. And if we pick like 10 projects and we get funding for them, then we could be sort of like the incubator space, where or like the accelerator, where we have these projects in our wing and working to get more projects going out. Like Major Tom could be one of them.
Yeah. So what kind of projects, like, are there any specific industry or impact that they're looking at?
Yeah, I sent the PowerPoint, and it has all the different requirements. Like they're looking for a whole bunch of different things, and
So, if you go to the first idea of developing NewSpace NYC as the umbrella and having Major Tom as the pilot project, do you think that would fit what they're looking for?
yeah, I think that would fit also as having NewSpace as.
Because I think at this stage it would be hard for us to just justify $3 million, because it's unless you have something very concrete to present it.
No, I think what we can, like what Sean was saying, that we can propose 10 projects or whatever we were thinking initially, I'm not sure. And for that, we can get funding and be the incubator space for those projects. Right, Sean? That's what you were saying?
Or select one of the projects out of those initial brainstorming list.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. That's what I heard, I think.
Okay, select one. So, okay.
No, that's great. Like, working with the two structures at the same time, and having NewSpace providing funding for Major Tom.
So, yeah, we can propose Major Tom. What I can do is, like, before our next meeting, I can look into the presentation and all those things and find out the requirements and then see what are they looking for and find out that if we can put in our request.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Pretty good. So shall we do this discussion also in the Hangout for next Tuesday?
Yes.
Sean, tomorrow do you have anything specific that you're gonna discuss with that related to this? Turns out.
I think his connection froze or something.
Yeah, we cannot see him.
Oh, he says, "Be right back in 2 minutes."
Okay. Anyway, I think we can discuss this on Tuesday, right? But I think from the email, it seems that he's going to talk to Beth tomorrow.
I think we should rule out $3 million project. Yeah. I mean, we don't know where things are going to go. I mean, we had a certain set of proposals that we showed to the ID contest here, but we come up with Tuesday, the direction might shift, the time horizons and the potential upside could be greater. And of course, it depends on what they're trying to follow, what their terms are. And
For me, how I see it, like, if it's something like there's no harm in applying, I would still apply for the funding and then see. Like,
yeah, right.
I know that, we don't have a project that as big as $3 million right now, but I would just look into the requirements, what are the caveats, and then if nothing, then.
I know, the news articles are just really like game changers, I feel.
Yeah.
Because it seems like it went from being something that was quite peripheral passing. I think Outernet is a really cool idea, and it's inspiring a lot of sense because there's this big social impact side of it. But I think sort of really shifting the emphasis towards there's internet, not the Outernet, but having two-way internet everywhere. That's that's a big game changer.
Yeah.
And it's still something that not a whole lot of people are talking about. So.
And so that all that happened last 6 months. Right?
So for me, how I would see it, like I know that right now Major Tom is not $3 million, but if we can project it to be a very big thing
for
the future, yeah, I think yeah, we can participate. Oh, it's the name of
So Major Tom is just based on David Bowie. This is ground control. Major Tom and ground control. It was just the first thing that popped in someone's head.
The part like they did was building the receivers with the satellites to get one-way information. It was also part of our proposal for the year challenge.
We were just trying to feedback about
I like about the
Major Tom.
the name itself.
It's okay. It's okay.
I grew up blind, so there's some there's a very famous group which is called the Government Group. So I have that in the background.
It's a 500.
Yeah, some black down here.
Oh, really? I just ran Chris Hadfield's group.
Also, that is a song, right?
Yeah, the song, exactly. He wrote a book about it. Yeah, definitely recommend it. Okay, he's from back now. Guys, I think it's o'clock. We have to get other people to join the next discussion.
Let's just take 5 minutes break and then start with the.
Good.
Okay, do you want to do a separate recording or do you want to just keep it rolling?
Maybe a second recording, right? Mike?
I would have to make a different hangout. I think once we that this next week I'll start to create I'll start to create the separation between the two groups. But I think if you don't mind for now.
Just because we had issues getting it up, so let's just keep it.
Okay, very good. So we're back in 2 minutes.
Okay. Is there any coffee?
Yeah, there is.
You buy a game at breakfast.
Essentially, it's a very market that's also a very intimidating market. It's all the big enterprises, banks, and especially when you try to sell security products.
Yeah.
You really have to go for it.
It's called branding, right?
Yeah. It takes a while.
Take your time to ground control.
Years.
No, I was in South Africa for 2 weeks. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So
I must have
I
missed that.
had a very good time.
You're like a
Southern Hemisphere.
Yeah.
So
It was our first time having like warm New Year's, and it was the best. That's all I can say. Like sitting next to the beach and celebrating New Year's, it has its own benefit.
Just have to rub it in my face.
All right, guys. So we have some new folks here. Just to give some background for the introductions. Last year we started this group to discuss opportunities related to commercial space. So we're a group of enthusiasts that came together to brainstorm ideas. And also, we want to develop an ecosystem here in Europe because we think that a lot of other things that are happening in this field primarily are taking place in DC, in California, but money is here in Europe, so why not do something here? At the same time, we wanted to, as part of one of the goals of this organization, also to have an education component. And so we're bringing experts, so people who are in the industry to talk to this group. So last year, for instance, we brought in a specialist from Links from Export. Export is one of the startups that's developing solar spacecraft. So this kind of thing that I want to recognize. Today, we're, as part of our agenda, we want to discuss what kind of event we would like to bring to this semester. So, for instance, in mid-February, the idea is to organize a co-sponsor panel with the Columbia venture capital community. The idea is to bring a startup that's doing something related to space, someone from the investor community, perhaps Space Angel, and hopefully someone from NASA and the business development office. We're well positioned to do this. So, and start creating community.
So are you in touch with the like the Columbia Venture Capital?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So yeah, they are very excited about it.
Uh-huh.
So this would be co-sponsored event, so some of their members will be joining us.
Okay.
And what we suggested that we would propose the panelists, come up with the panelists, and we would promote the event together. Are we looking for more panelists at this point? I think it's open to us. So far, we've talked to Space Angels, where it's Elizabeth Kenneth. She's from this organization called Futures in Space. She connected us with Space Angels, so we're from that. One of the Instagram, like
Yeah, I was thinking one of the leads is Honeybee Robotics. And they do robotics. So they make a lot of they're based right here in Manhattan, actually. And they manufacture very specialized robotics for large corporations, like their primary focus is in aerospace and space exploration. They do a lot of contracting with NASA. I think some surprising percentage of the hardware that's on Mars rover is actually manufactured.
I mean, they work. They try to keep me or
It's not often some secret facility or DC underground. Not very fortunate.
And I think it's a good example of company that most people don't know, but they're based here in Europe. They're doing space-related activities. And the other one is like Final Frontier Design, which is designing the new next generation of spacesuits, which is also very important.
Mm-hmm.
This mic. Shall we try to implement them?
Well, this is the goal. They have to keep joining.
Okay, they should join. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
Because otherwise, like, they need to introduce ourselves. But we should try
This is
to.
gonna be recorded, right? Yeah, Google Hangouts is recorded.
Yeah,
I think it is recorded.
but it's recorded. Might recorded.
You guys are in part two. You're in part one. And then part two. Yeah, it's all.
Yeah.
Angels, Space Angels.
Space Angels. Exactly. So they're based in California, but I'm looking at from the other location.
Mm-hmm.
And
So how many panelists are we targeting, first of all?
3 to 4.
3 to 4. And how big do we think you want this particular session to be?
I think we could fill up this from like this, like 50 people. They would start. Anyway. Yeah.
Okay, let's do the introduction and then you should start talking about this.
And pretty good. Mine. So, ladies first.
Hi, I'm Achal. I'm a Columbia B-School first year student. And before B-School, I was in the tech industry. And I met Sydney and we were talking about, if I was interested in space, everyone is. So wanted to do something more and learn more about it. And that's how I got involved.
Okay, hi, I'm Vivek. My experience has been professional in the financial services, in particular the one side of the work, basically capital market valuation management. But my formal education has been in physics. At one point I was dabbling in gravitation and a lot of stuff, simulation. Anyway, so last year I got involved with aerospace and ship online. From the outfit which participated in the Google exercise. And so as part of that moonshot, they're sending this robot to the moon. And so I said, fine, it's great, I'm going to go get it with somebody else. So yeah, I always had this fascination. Anyhow, so the life is maybe going like a full circle and making them to reconnect with this community in the world.
Just Mike, can you hear Wallace?
A little bit.
Okay. So yeah, because we're recording, so we might have to protect later.
So you're working now, or you got the company, or?
Yeah, I mean, I have a title. I have a business card that I can share. So, but it's not like working for Goldman Sachs. So, it's just a different business model. So, yeah, I'm just my first like stab attempt at like shift on. So,
My name is Guillaume Benoit. I'm from France. I studied in NewSpace. This is a school specialized in electrical engineering. And then I studied in Germany in a school called Darmstadt. And there, just to give you an example of what I was doing, I was specialized in telecommunication, the gigahertz frequency domain. And what I was building there for my thesis is what we call a microwave phase shifter. It's a liquid crystal microwave phase shifter, so I was able to orient the beam of it's like a receiver. You can orient the beam of radiation based on the phase of your wave. And this is also based on the property of your electric. So it's a mix of electrical engineering, telecommunication, high frequency, gigahertz, domain application. That's very good for very integrated antennas. So you are able to, instead of having this huge antenna to see for space application, you are able to apply symmetries and reduce the size of the antenna to a very small component.
Does the other more time?
No, it's really based on the crystal property, and the rest is the electric, yeah. And then so I did that in Darmstadt, then I came back to France. I started at Sagan. Sagan, we are doing from the A400M, which is a military transport aircraft. So I did that for a while. I was working in a lab at the beginning of my career, basically repairing some radio frequency boards. So I know everything about that. I know everything about GPS constellations. Working in secret defense environment. So what you do is you plug your device to the constellation and you try to run the frequency board, working properly. I did that for several applications. And then I switched to Siemens. It was too laser project for me. I tried to move to bigger systems. At Siemens, I spent 6 years at Siemens now. And I've been working on automation. So basically train automation. So it's the technology that my team developed. That's the trains that basically drive by themselves. We have driverless trains. So we are able to do it completely in France. We are not able to do it in the US because the driver is not doing the right. So we keep the driver on the other train.
It's kind of ironic.
I know. I would actually take the other way around.
So yeah.
What is the artificial intelligence?
That's gonna be a problem.
So yeah, so the air train, for instance, in Manhattan is completely automated, so a full ATL. But you still have the guide. So you don't have the guide closing the door anymore, or doing the announcement. But you still have the guide pressing the button in the pilot tab, and the train basically drives by itself. But it's no zero GPS application, you are under tunnel, so you won't have any reception. So it's basically based on a dual system of communication where you have transponder on the track. And when the train is going over the transponder, you know the location of the train, but you also want to know the velocity and the acceleration of the train. You combine that with accelerometer and speedometer, and you have this double system to locate the train perfectly and safely. The system has to be safe-certified. Sorry, I'm maybe wrong.
No. I think you need a separate, like a meeting just to talk about how you designed this thing. That's very interesting to know.
Sorry about that.
So I learned more in the last 10 minutes than 2 years ago.
Okay, so it's called CBC, Communication Train Control. That's what I've been doing. I stopped at Siemens, so I'm not working anymore. I got a nice severance package from them. So I'm finishing my program at Columbia now, and I have a job offer at GE Capital in in the US. So I'm basically in vacation, taking some classes just for fun.
What are you doing at Columbia?
The MBA.
Oh, EMBA?
EMBA.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and I'm with my buddy John. So the next one.
So mine's a little shorter. But yeah, I am a second year university along with field, and my background is engineering, electrical, computer engineering by training. By career, I've been in financial services. I work on a electronic trading platform at Bloomberg. So we're doing that, as well as analytics and more client-facing stuff in general. And yeah, as far as space is concerned, naturally I'm an enthusiast with anything tech related. And it was the beginning of a new passion or hobby. So just happy to be invited and here. John.
So you were working the Bloomberg like quantitative?
No, not on the quantitative side. We have an electronic trading platform. So, for example, it supports commodities in general, fixed income, currencies, equities, and the area I focus on is commodities and FX. So I work with clients. It's more on the consultative side. So walking them through structuring trades to execution to valuation, all of which are existing platforms that I help to pull feedback from.
So I'm from the executive MBA. My energy is a little low because we come from a full week class.
We had a long night.
The block week class?
Yeah. From 7 a.m. until 10, 11. We had our final yesterday, so we slept at 3 hours. Yeah. So I apologize for my low excitement.
Let's be here.
Yeah. As long as we manage to be awake, it's gonna be an accomplishment. So I've been an entrepreneur for 15 years. I got I have full-time classes, Friday, Saturday classes. I got into the innovation entrepreneurship. Yeah, I'm really happy. So that maybe brings me closer to opening an office in the US. That's it. Yes, I'm excited, and this is like I don't know, spending time to find really neat opportunities in the space industry. I don't really know how to tap into that industry because it's kind of new, but I'm sure today we can find something really cool. I have some, maybe we can talk about it later about the things that I'm kind of working on following now.
So my name is Chris. I'm a student entrepreneur. I'm in the engineering program at Columbia University doing a master's there in computer science, where my focus is artificial intelligence. Before that, my native background was physics, where I basically researched in the lab rat for most of my short career. And my current venture is looking to leverage some of the breakthroughs coming along now in the field of artificial intelligence, some new micro deep learning, things like that. So we're trying to apply these kinds of algorithms using breakthrough to cybersecurity and password theft. So we're trying to make the internet a little more secure, a little more safe, a little more trustworthy. We want to be able to verify content that appears on web pages in real time. So you have billions of dollars that are being cost into all of the banks, Fortune 500 companies that are related to fraud, phishing, impersonation, and things like that. So this kind of artificial intelligence, which is basic, integrated with basic security know-how and mechanisms, can, I believe, resolve a big part of the problem. Space exploration is something I'm pretty passionate about. I mean, going back to, I don't know how far back. So I've been spending a little bit of my time volunteering with this group here, working on sort of the product that we've been discussing. And we're also really looking to really build out also a bigger community in New York City and bring a lot of passionate, like-minded people together and really just see what happens.
Hi, my name is Sydney. My background is pure science and engineering, but I worked as an engineer for a couple of years before I moving to international development. So that's what I studied in grad school. After finishing grad school, I worked for the World Bank for 2 years and eventually got burned out with bureaucracy and decided to go back to academia to have a different capacity than C++. But one of the things I'm most excited about these days is this group because I think only in a place like New York you can find people who are very passionate about something like this, about space, and that combines the skill but also the passion and the interest and the ability to execute things. So when we all here have complementary skills, and I'm just very excited about what we can do. The last couple of months have shown that how much we have progressed since we started our discussions and we got to this where we are right now. So we're going to have a very, with all the developments in the space industry, we've seen that things are happening very fast, and we just want to surf that wave as well. So, and thanks everyone for being here. Mike, we have Mike and Sean. So Mike first.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Mike. It's nice to meet you guys. There's some new people. I heard electrical engineering, and that's really awesome. We could always use more of those people. So welcome. And yeah, we've been around since October 2014, and yeah, we really just want to create a community that we've come across a lot of people that that basically say, oh hey, you know, that's cool. I've always wanted to get into something with space, like he was saying, but but I don't know where to go, or you know, I don't know how to take the first step. And so that's really one of the big things we want to do is create a community where, like Sydney was saying, where everyone can learn from each other, and you know, we can turn all that into an institute or some kind of organization that basically propels people's entrepreneurship, infuses it with, you know, the space industry. So really quickly, my background, right now I'm CTO at a tech startup in New York, and we do like rental application stuff. It's not really too attractive. And then I'm also involved with some space startups on the side, with some ex-NASA people and stuff like that. So I was fortunate enough to, it actually happened where I met the guy from Sean's Hackerspace in Brooklyn, and that's how I was lucky enough to get involved with those space startups. So with that, I'll pass it on to Sean, who is a pretty cool guy himself.
Thanks, Mike. Hi, everyone. I'm Sean. I have skills in web development, engineering, and team management. I graduated from NYIT with a bachelor's in electronic engineering technology. I've worked as a programmer at several different web development firms in New York City, and most recently was a CTO for Trusted Insight, which I brought from zero income to $15,000 a month in income, subscription sales in 6 months. I've won over 11 hackathons that I've been competing in over the weekends, including NYC Big Apps and BSR Sustainability app. Founded and managed and built infrastructure for Alpha One Labs Makerspace in Brooklyn, which there I've built prototypes for an LCD hat, a laser scrolling sign, 3D POV display, smart recycling bin, and robotic food exchange. I was on the front page of the New York Times for a space group that I was a part of that received DARPA funding, and very excited for the group we have here, and I think we have a bunch of, you know, some other projects and some more funding we can possibly get too. So I'm very excited to meet you all.
Yeah, thanks. Sean has been our hardware guru so far in the prototype that we're developing. Good. And you're on.
Yeah, we.
I'm Miran, and so I'm more with the civil engineering and architecture side. I do not have much knowledge about space as well. But my aim is to hopefully be able to design or be part of the construction of the, like the place where you actually spaceports over there. So yeah, that's all actually. I'm running a startup myself for construction management. We do bring analytics to the platform, like being able to bring your cost of completion and your efficiency based upon real-time performance of the people on the field through mobile application. So that's one of our core strengths. And the other strength is that we also have 3D visualizations where all the trades can actually collaborate on 3D platform rather than a 2D drawing. So that's two of our main value propositions that we have right now. So yeah, I think I was also more of a derivative actually. I worked with you for 7 years, and now also I work with MTA as well. So my whole life was actually in bureaucracy where I didn't have to work much, but I had time to think about things to other things. So I used that time.
What were you doing at UR?
I was doing construction, architecture and construction. So yeah, I did some here as well as employers, and most of the time in Africa, 5 years in Africa. It was pretty interesting. Traveling was interesting, but I'm learning a lot.
Pretty good. So for today, what we had in the agenda was first discussing the organization of the panel. This panel was in February. Another idea was to keep all our internal event for education purposes with presentation about team Indus. I think it's a very interesting project. We had India, there's a team from India that came up with this very, very cool initiative of participating in the Moon X Prize. They are one of the 3 finalists, and we expect to put a rover on the moon in the next couple of months. And they will be involved. So presenting this to the group would be a very good way for us to understand how a space company can be built from scratch. So, and this will, hopefully we can do this for next week.
Yeah, we can just start some slides here.
So your team is here? Your team is here?
Well, I mean, they'll be here in Tampa for business.
Okay.
Well, I'm here. Of course, yeah.
And you have the card with the name. That'd be very interesting. Yeah.
Especially because it's an initiative that comes from a developing country, right? All the technology is being developed there, and the company has been able to beat all the other players from that are based in Silicon Valley and elsewhere.
Also the role of the Indian government as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can regale you with my anecdotes and frustrations from
I just feel like that's also another element to the video discuss.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
One of the lessons we can learn.
Yeah. Actually, if you could just send us like what you'll be talking about, if there is more stuff like I would want to know about how did you start with the funding aspect, how did you even come up with the ideas, stuff like that.
So we can have the informal thing.
Okay.
I'll set the ball rolling.
Uh-huh.
But if you ask me, let's talk about the astronaut, I go like algorithm and further than.
I don't think anyone can ask those questions.
I'm not sure. After I trying to shoot me.
The most important thing like that. Well, there's this guy who came up with the idea, okay, let's put something in the moon. And how to translate that into actionable.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, for the longest time, these guys were just called the movies. Most of them were so that outrageous. They think they can seriously and getting money. Yeah. Yeah. No, I think we got that.
And they already got like $2 million from Google.
Yeah, and more. Yeah. Google I don't know.
Exactly. So the need to think about what we're having next week. So the idea is that we have like 2 events planned for the next 4 weeks. So in mid-February, we have this panel. Here's already mentioned it. We do robotics. We're in touch with the Space Angels. If someone would like to contact NASA and maybe someone else would like to contact
Virgin Galactic or SpaceX, I think that would be a way for us to share the responsibilities, and I think it would be very cool to really reach out to these.
What will the SpaceX? I don't have a comment, but I want to provide it.
Kaki was, you can ask Kaki for the right?
Yeah, exactly, but we want to diversify our network. I think
But she can actually help us connect there rather than us connect.
yeah, I think it's up to us. Like, if there's someone who would volunteer to.
So my uncle worked in NASA for 10 years, like through the 90s.
Excellent.
So he might have some connects with NASA and also the Intel community.
Good. Excellent. So, for that one, Chris Madison?
I also have some connections with the Lunar Lions at Penn State. So they're another Google Lunar X Prize team. I don't know if they're launching later this year, but they have a really unique program because it's like all university based. So I'll reach out to them.
Okay. Anyone want to reach out to SpaceX or Virgin Galactic?
I would give it a shot. I'm not sure I can't make any promises.
Exactly.
So don't walk, right? So because you have to get somebody here for the account.
Yeah, I know that they have an office in DC.
Which one?
For SpaceX.
SpaceX is the DC office. Do you know about Virgin Galactic?
I'm sure the Virgin has some kind of presence in New York.
Virgin has, yeah, of course.
But I don't know that.
Galactic.
Yeah. All right, guys. So if anybody would like to give a shot to one of those space startups, that would be good.
Space startups.
Yeah, like SpaceX or
Okay.
Virgin Galactic.
A little bit more established, like all the design.
Yeah, actually. It is like we want to bring investors, startups, and NASA. Just like show like how the ecosystem is formed. Yeah. But if you guys have any other ideas, great. I think 3 to 4 panels would be probably a good number.
Yeah. Sorry, go
Go
ahead.
ahead, please.
I was thinking like we should be smart to utilize our network, like not utilize all our network for the first meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like if we have 2 or 3 people who have confirmed, then just focus on one particular network and try to get them, and not just use all of our network. Like save something for later on as well.
Yeah, exactly. Or we can schedule like different events. Like,
Yeah.
contacts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is like but with a network of whole semester.
Yeah.
Am I?
Like having like a New York City-based one for like Honeybee Robotics, Final Frontier Designs, all those guys, teachers in space. That could be a good theme for one of our events. Outernet and stuff.
Is there like a set schedule that you're trying to focus on, or like how's like what are the like mechanics of putting together panels or events?
Yes, definitely. It's up to us to define a schedule. Right now, what we have like 10 years beginning next week, and use February this panel and come up with the different investments later on.
I think what we thought was initially we'll just have the panel discussion outside and see how is the like enthusiasm in the New York State community, and then go on from there.
Yeah. And how are you marketing it, or what's the the target audience beyond folks in here?
Facebook and wherever we can advertise, word of mouth, talk about it. Yeah.
And there's a meetup group about 100 people. That people are particularly interested in the commercial space solutions. And we definitely should, this one is part of our mission to reach out to a lot of community.
Yeah. If we have other better ideas, definitely.
Yeah, I was just trying to, just starting to think about how you're, what you're trying to put together. And I know, work on events, just anecdotally from work, and depending on how big a room you're trying to fill, you got to figure, times X number of people you got to kind of focus on targeting to get to that. And then what's the, the agenda, and so I was trying to understand that better.
And one thing that we're trying to do, at least for this first panel, is to partner with Columbia Venture Capital Community. So that, because this is probably a group that's not aware of the potential of the that is emerging in the shared-based industry. So I think sort of awareness also.
Maybe like the long-term goal is to start space companies.
Yeah.
Right, correct. Right, and I guess that just starts with baby steps and recognizing that there's people out there, there's community who cares enough about it, with know-how and resources to do so. So yeah, I guess it just starts with having conversations, and it starts with kind of case studies, bringing in experts from the industry. And also, I think there was a time a few months ago at one of our first smaller meetings, we try to be very rigorous about laying out the current opportunities in the commercial space industry, because a lot of people, in commercial space kind of scratch their heads and say, well, that's really cool. But where's, how are you going to do it without any good? How are you going to do it commercially in a commercially viable way? So we really try to break it down and look at what those opportunities were. And that was probably 2-3 months ago. And honestly, even since that time, there's been some, seemingly tectonic shifts. In terms of SpaceX and Virgin Galactic, in terms of what they're doing for secondary that's an opportunity for them. So, I think even just rehashing some of those opportunities that would be something worthwhile for the global community.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing that we think that in order to develop the community, to help others when they are part of the community. So, Teachers in Space is asking for help to fundraise for they're working with the Final Frontier Design, the next generation spacesuits that Final Frontier is planning. And so they have this essay contest, and they need to raise 7.5K. So Elizabeth Kennedy is gonna reach out to us to figure out if we can help with that. We have some ideas of how to do it, but I think it would be great if we could help them with contacts, with suggestions, and it's not that much money, right? So it's a matter of identifying the right partner. It's something that it's one of our goals for NewSpace NYC, and I think it has an education component, so it's a pretty good cost to it's worthwhile embrace.
The same would be the $7,500. That's the Frontier, that's for the essay contest.
That's a contest that Teachers in Space organizations. And an interesting thing, this contest has a set of judges. And among the judges, we have a very interesting people that we want to connect with. So it's our, I think, in our own interest to be part of this network. So there are people from NASA, there are people from Smithsonian, there are people from various sectors. So Elizabeth Kennedy, that Mike introduced to us, she's very well connected, right, Mike? And I think that once we establish our reputation, that would be opportunity for us to reach out to these people. So the Space Angels is also part of the board of the judging panel. And so I think if we help them, this is going to help us establish our reputation as well. Good. I think for today, that was the agenda. And I know that Eduardo had some ideas to discuss it. I think this is also forum for brainstorming.
Yeah. Can I use the computer so I can?
Sure. It's just that I have to figure out how to use the computer and how they can see the.
Yeah, on the Google Hangout, you can use the little green screen sharing icon there, and then it'll broadcast your screen.
Okay. Share screen.
Yep. Cool.
That upstairs is pretty strong, huh?
Yeah. That's it, yeah. Actually, I'm sure we do
you doing like for life? And so right now you're not more realistic. No, but in general, you plan to say?
No, I'm doing all
Oh, yeah, energy. Have you?
afterwards. Pretty small package. Finance program. Yeah.
So are you going to go there right now?
Yeah.
If you didn't know?
No. Yeah, after the year program.
How long is that?
We are.
And you do it part-time?
We do it during the weekend. It's on Saturday.
On Saturday. Oh, okay.
Saturday.
Okay.
What's the difference between the MBA program and the ordinary MBA program?
Preparing during the week.
I mean, like credit-wise, you're same amount of hours for the class. There's overlap, but not so like our body now will have MBA type of person. Other than that, it's just the schedule will be a lot more flexible.
Yeah, I think course-wise, it's the same coursework that you get. Yeah.
Basically, our class.
Yeah.
Well, in that you like go to class on Saturday, for example, if you're on the Saturday schedule, all day.
It's built for a work schedule.
Like that's during the day.
You guys can all face
Pretty much that.
No. I don't know how you guys handle it.
Short-term loss or long-term gain.
Yeah, I used to have time to come here.
And Ward was a convincing salesman.
Oh, yeah.
That's why he was elected.
So I don't know. Can you see the screen that we're seeing now? No, but
Yeah.
okay. So I just wanted to show you that in Columbia Business School, we have a student organization list of clubs that some students have created. So I already spoke with the two co-presidents of this year association. So they think it's a good idea to start the club, but that they're trying to reduce the number of clubs that the school has. So it's a little saturated because you can find from badminton to aerospace and association. So they say that this position, the aviation and aerospace association, is a little slow. It's not doing like really great things. So my plan is the plan is to rename it to Space and Aerospace Association, something that really brings forward the name of space, because it would be a little, and it's already created, so it would save us a little time, because we think that this vehicle brings resources to our group to have bigger meetings, to have there could be even money there. Like sometimes they have, I know, $5,000 to spend on, from food to beverage to paying airplane tickets to, right? And also, if we bring more people on board, you can pay from $20 to $300 to join a group. So that brings revenue to operate, to have some expenses like in a formal structure. And I'm planning to contact the girl that is in charge of creation and reduction of clubs. So if you want to join, like, I think it's gonna bring like a formal name, apart from Columbia Startup Lab. That I think you've seen that how they react when you say like this is Columbia Startup Lab, and even though like we don't officially belong to, they don't really know that. So it helps to build like a stack. We clinch on the brand. So it would be, we would have to choose a name so we can rename it. Of course, we have to run through a process, but these guys are the president and the co-president are not doing anything. So
Hey, Mark, just real quick, sorry, I have to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah.
Very good, excellent.
Definitely would like to come back, you know.
We'll
Yeah.
dive into the thanks. Thanks a
I
lot.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks much,
Thank you
everyone.
very much. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So if you can see the objective of this um, group is for pilots in the aviation aerospace. So it's more it's more aviation, right? So I think we can tweak it into empowering like a more focused on space, on space. And I think it's not gonna. I think it lays a foundation for us to, because if we didn't have this, we will have to vote and bring people on board. So we just have to find a way to do it. So I think this is important news, at least from my perspective, because we can get like resources formally from CBS and have like a good brand.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I think having this institutional presence is going to be very important on campus because it's going to make it much easier, as Eduardo mentioned, to mobilize resources, but also to book rooms, to
Exactly.
establish a physical presence that will help us to.
We can put up billboards on campus. We can start recruiting engineers.
Exactly.
You know, for projects we have, ideas we have. I mean, it's really going to be.
Yeah,
I think it's a cool reason.
The only caveat I see, like, do we want to associate Colombia with our group's name? Like, I don't want it to be limited to restricted to just Columbia. Like, I'm sure like Stern has, and there are so many other better colleges. So for me, it's like even like booking a room in Columbia, I don't want anyone the perception to have that this is very Columbia specific organization.
I think we can say that we're partnering with Columbia Space Club.
Yeah.
But you're right. Like, NewSpace NYC should be a totally separate.
This would be like an adjacent organization at the university, which is just a way to take advantage of more resources better.
I agree completely. It's like NewSpace, even though it doesn't have an office, they have to be completely separate.
Yeah.
But having said that, like we're gonna have our next meeting. Columbia Space Club is providing its joint venture with us, or however you want to name it. The space or whatever you want. We have we have more resources, and you give us a little more resources without investing.
Yeah, I think what we can do is like after we start this club, we should see if there is a similar club in Stern as well.
What?
And a similar club in the New York University.
With NYU?
Yeah, with NYU. Exactly. And not just B School, but in general, NYU White Club, and try to contact them as well. So it's just that you're making a broader name. Which is very important.
And also there are specific rules to have sponsors or like foreign groups taking part of this. So there's also, it's like a two-way street. So we have also to abide to certain laws or to certain rules. So it's gonna be like a little tricky, but I think it brings more resources than it consumes, right? So I think we should give it a try. The other thing that I wanted to share is that for some reason there was like a small raffle to have a breakfast with an investor called Bob Dorff. Bob Dorff, he used to run different companies. He has started 7 different businesses. He has bought companies for $1 billion, sold it from 200, the other way around.
Dorff, D-O-R-F.
B-O-B, space D-O-R-F.
D-O-R-F.
Yeah, and his business partner with Steve Blank. That he's like the creator of
he was here. Steve Blank was here on Tuesday.
They are the partners. They wrote a book called the Startup Manual for.
The guy who wrote that book.
Yeah.
Those guys wrote that book.
Yeah.
So Steve Blank is kind of a little more famous because he likes to be like in the front page, and Bob Dorff is like a little more easygoing and he's a little different profile. But I was talking to him. Like, for some reason, I won this raffle, and I spent like 5 hours talking with him.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I think he's interested in this industry because we were talking about like my career and like what's his insight, and like he said like you have actually 5 businesses in one because like every service is like you have competitors. So like yeah, and a part of this, I'm like dipping my toe in the water of space industry, and like he started laughing and like you're like me, I don't repeat this, but I don't suggest that you do too many things, but yeah, it's fun to have many things to do. So let's see what we can do together. So I'm in good terms with him, and he has tremendous resources to like whenever we figure out that we have to contact Bob and Elon Musk, or like he's in good relationship with
Nice.
many of like big shots.
Actually,
So I think it was like fun to see. I think most of the people that we mentioned, like I'm start trying to do this. They're like space, really? Like why? But it generates a lot of curiosity, right?
Yeah.
So
exactly.
we can leverage on that if we start to throw some names and some resources.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Wait, so you mentioned Elon Musk, right? Shall we start thinking about this big conference in sometime maybe next 7-8 months, where we'd like to get these big guys, Elon Musk, Richard Branson. You guys think
I think maybe the time would be better to have 7 or 8 months.
Yeah.
But the full timers are graduating in May, so the next class or the next generation, I don't have many contacts, and I don't know. It would be easier for me to leverage on the presidents and all there's a momentum that we could use,
Right.
and we have enough time, like 4 months. It would be like a little more stressing. But I think it's like having a few more events in the meantime,
Yeah.
and like go for it. It's like, what's the worst that can happen? It's like they're gonna say no,
True.
like for May, but in January next year, when we have a little more momentum, they say yes. I think we should like go for it. Like we only have one lifetime.
Yeah.
We should go and do it and see
Yeah.
what happens.
Yeah, I
Because it
agree.
will be a very long process also getting those people and making sure that they all have time available on the same day.
Right.
So I think we should start the conversations. There's no harm in that, if possible.
Yeah, the plan is on May and see
Yeah,
if
the
it's
plan.
possible or not possible.
Yeah.
So what's the proposition? I mean, like, why would
You want to
somebody who's already like dollar value runs into millions of bucks or
Right.
time with us?
I think we want to catalyze the movement, right? And in order to bring awareness about this issue, having that something big with the big name.
No, what you're saying is right. Like the person
Well,
doesn't
this
have
match, right?
anything.
We are like somewhat amateur at this stage.
Yeah.
No, I'm just making devil's advocate.
No.
But these are like super standard, right? So I'm seeing the situation from their frame of reference. Why would we?
Yeah, I think we need like sort of poster boy successes, like projects, maybe Tom and whatever else comes out of this. We ultimately are building space companies. I mean, right now we're just in the conversation space, but that's really I think the answer. Because yeah, right now we're just in a bunch of people. And, that's an example of that. I would just say, so it's really going to be tangible
I cannot find it.
products.
I think like Steve Blank was here a couple of years ago, right? And then this woman from business school was interviewing that they were having a discussion. So we can also have something similar. I don't think everybody will come. I think we can bring one person actually,
Yeah.
and then have a conversation between Sydney or I don't know, Elizabeth or whoever can talk to Elon Musk and ask him a few questions. And we can also put Major Tom on this to as one of the things that we demonstrate. And those,
Yeah, like
Also, just like the way that these things often work is like when Steve Blank comes around and gives a talk, he's also kind of promoting, 4 steps to Epiphany. Or when Peter Thiel comes and, his book, this has all the opinionated things, yeah, he's promoting his book. So if one of these, if we're talking about somebody in the space industry, maybe it's their company, maybe it's something published, maybe they're looking for something. Yeah. So it's like, how can we how does our event reciprocate their interest in some way?
yeah.
So
I think
don't know if
it's-
the answer, but
When they brought Peter Thiel, like all the major clubs in the school like
Yeah.
chipped in, and it was like impossible to get a ticket. It was like 1,200 people, 1,200 tickets, and they sold out in like in a few minutes.
Yeah. It was a very.
So I think we have to throw the ball and go for the long path.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have the big name, then it's easy to get audience.
And it will be like one day and like, hey, talk about disruption business and taking risk and whatever you want to do.
I think that we have addressing I think your question. Very important. The fact that we're in New York and nobody's doing anything related to space, so I think it's a big trade. It's contracted. Yeah. And well, New York wants to project this image of being like the forefront of the film tech industry. So they have this digital NYC initiative. They are building this new maker space prototype area in Brooklyn. So I think we can take advantage of these priorities of the administration and tap into that. So if we sell it, it would be very easy to sell this idea to the administration. And well, mayor is a sleep alone, so he comes to sleep up in bed quite often.
Yeah.
The mayor did it last year.
Then I think we have CBS, Columbia Business School, CIPA, and engineering. You have some connections. I don't know, you were in engineering as well, so.
I'm also an SCAS, and that's definitely something we tapped into. Something that just occurred to me was Cornell Tech.
Yeah.
Everybody know about Cornell Tech?
The new campus.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so the school already exists. It's on, basically, it's in Google's building on 16th Street.
Oh, really?
They're going to have it, they're building this really ambitious futuristic campus on
Is that the one like $1 billion project?
It's a huge investment.
Yeah,
It's something like that. And you know, this got a lot of press. I think Stanford and Cornell were competing for a long time, you know, taking bids to build a campus in New York City. And it's going to be like, visually, it's have to be this huge innovation hub. So there is just a ton of network and infrastructure and investment behind that, and about the sort of innovation in New York City. You know, and that's also something to. I actually got a scholarship for their program that I ended up doing in Columbia because they give me more flexibility with this company. But I did have a few conversations with some of their artificial intelligence, computer vision people. You know, that's not really what this is about, of course, but they care a lot about innovation, and if there's some way to tap into that research as well.
I need to leave, so but I'll catch up with you guys later on.
I think we could like, are we gonna talk about something else?
No, I think that's it. We're just brainstorming. Well, next meeting is going to be next Friday, the presentation about the teams.
And what time is tomorrow?
Let's just at 5 o'clock again. I think.
Could we make it a little later because I have class until 6:30? Is that possible?
We can meet at 6 o'clock or something.
Yeah, we can do 5 for Major Tom and then the 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
Major Tom from 5
to 6 and then 6 onward. NewSpace NYC.
Cool, I will need to.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, it's on Tuesday. Friday. Tuesday is our hangout.
I think the first step to contacting Elon Musk, not the first, but one of the things would be to contact the guys who actually brought Peter Thiel, because Peter Thiel has a research going on in the engineering school, in this robotics, right? So going through that channel would be one of those, because they are best friends.
Or maybe hope to work.
For example, I went to a ski trip and I met a guy that works with like, I don't know, some financial stuff. And his boss, he worked in a company and his boss is like super close to Elon Musk. So it's just a matter of like formally deciding when and how. And then it's like, hey, like just like actually like using people working with SpaceX, I don't know, clothing or something in business school, and it's like, hey, do you know this guy? Literally, it's just like that easy.
Exactly. No, I think we set up like, let's do this big event by before the end of the year. And we work towards.
The thing is that to bring like enough people, I think we should try to aim it to the first days of May. And if we cannot make it,
you mean like this May?
Like this May.
That's an issue, but if you think it's possible, let's do it.
I saw a big marketing congress organized in like 3 months, and they brought like maybe 900 people. and they have to pay like $70 or $80 for the entrance fee. So I think they kind of manage.
Good. Lab has an event on April.
Who?
Lab.
I don't know.
What about it? Because every year Lab has an event. Like this is the first year Lab has been there. So last year, the day we did this huge event where everybody came in from mayor's office. Actually, Blaja was supposed to come. Oh, the different time. But they're having the same thing on again now on April and May. That'll be too early, right? But I still believe that going through Chris McCary or Dave Lerner would be, because Elon Musk definitely wants to come somewhere there is a lot, okay, there is an institutional thing, right? So
I'm wondering if we could get like a startup team in CSL. I don't know, I think NewSpace, but the sort of big NewSpace might be, I don't really know what the exact solution is, but if we could get us like an official team, of people, engineers. In CSL. That would actually give access to a lot of those resources.
Actually, no, Cindy can talk to Chris, or we can talk to Chris, and I think Chris would be right. Chris McCary, he'll be open to actually associating us with the CSL action. I think he's gonna be very happy about that action.
Okay, no, sounds good. Do you guys want to talk to Steve McGarry and explore the idea?
Yes.
And I think, I agree with Eduardo. The timing, if you can wait until May, before the end of the academic semester, then that'd be great.
The thing is that it's like a momentum.
Yeah.
That is like people when they graduate, like they're not coming back like never, right? So I think there are like enough resources and like it's the tipping point right now to do it.
Sure. Sean, Mike, do you guys have any suggestions, any comments? Are you ready to talk to Elon Musk in the next 4 months?
Yeah, that sounds really cool. I like the idea of doing the smaller events, specifically the ones with like the New York City-based companies. I think that's a really good, easy way to start. And then to show that we've actually done like some pretty cool events, get some pretty cool video, and then really start to grow the community. And then also I want some closing remarks. I wanted to let everyone know we have a forum. It's at our website. It's just NewSpace NYC, and if everyone could sign up there, that's how we can stay and communicate our ideas when we're not having meetings. And then we'll break things into Asana tasks that actually need a little bit more dedication. And then also there's something, a new communication tool that we want to try out in the new year called Telegram. So it's telegram.org. And yeah, we also need to create an email list with everyone's email address. So if there's any new email addresses before you walk away, if you could write down your email address.
It's a good idea. Let's give a try to the new tool.
I was wondering, I think because this association will bring new people every time, if we had like a consolidated place to find all the documents, all the ideas, all the previous meetings, all the names in the industry.
It's actually already all on Google Drive, all that stuff.
So so if I want to bring someone on board, I would say like go to this Google document and he will find the meetings, the documents, etc. There, everything.
She'll find the documentation there, and then yeah, the website needs to become kind of that portal that you're talking about, where it's just going to introduce someone to NewSpace.
Okay.
But right now, we have our meetings and a lot of our documentation on Google Drive, and then we're trying to use our forum to foster discussions. Sorry, I can't hear you, Sydney.
Yeah, if we could use NewSpace NYC at the repository for all this information for new members,
Yeah, just to bring them up to speed, because we could like keep going on in circles, because there are great ideas every time that we talk about new space, but because of
Yeah,
member.
actually, yeah, there is a really good introduction statement on the form. So if you go to the website, any single link that you click on there will take you to the form, and then the very first like big topic right at the top of the forum is the introduction topic, and if you read that, I think it reads pretty good. Um, yeah, we want to do a video and stuff like that later, but for now, I think it's pretty good. We do have ideas about how to expand the website.
And do you have time to like actually spend time on the video? And I don't know if.
You like taking down notes?
Sorry?
You like note taking for the session?
Yeah, just have the time to assemble the web server. So if we provide someone new access to this meeting, to my understanding, this meeting is being recorded. So I don't really know how to access it, or the previous documents or the notes. Just to have something like really simple, that no one has to spend, like, I wouldn't like to take more of your time. I guess you're pretty busy, but something really simple that can help us keep track of like the videos, the documents. So
Videos and notes.
videos and notes, I think something as simple as that, because you mentioned that you really were the eyes and the dots on the eye on what could be profitable, and I have like you will have to repeat it again, so I like to read it just to have everyone in the same.
So I think we have a pretty good procedure that we had set up for that earlier session. I think a lot of those things, that same procedure worked well in the NewSpace group, and that includes like we didn't really like Sydney and I have been scribbling down some things, but like we could have like a document of all the things that we brought up, as well as these videos recorded. We can make sure that they're the link to the front and all accessible. They're all organized, something like that.
I think if we had three elements in that web page, would be amazing. The videos, the documents, and who are we, and like the CV of each one of us.
Yeah, so that would be a static thing, or that would just be one person, like all the members and their.
Because it's amazing if we say like, we already have one and here and Sydney, and it builds like momentum really quickly. And if we have 100 people, even though like we don't have formally organic thing going, right? You build momentum. You're like, and you can go to this page, you get to the assistant of Elon Musk, and you can go there. I'll give you the password, and you can see all of us, even though like we haven't seen a guy in like 2 years. Really helps, right? So something like super simple. And if you could help us with that.
Have you seen the website before?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, so on the bottom of the page we have the links to the Google Plus page, and on there you can see all of our events and then also all of our videos, and then you can get into the forum. So check it out, and next time we meet too, hopefully I'll be there, and I'll talk to you. I'll lay out some of the plans that I have for the website. I don't think we should put anything behind a password because we want to be extremely open. But unless it was like a business sensitive doc, I mean we won't give people like edit access to to things. But I think everyone should be able to view everything that we publish. Everything that we publish could be used as content. But anyways, so yeah, there's if everyone could sign up on the form. I think a lot of people already left, but we have a nice form. And there's also telegram.org.
How can I access the web page? What's the web page? Can you repeat it?
It's NewSpace.nyc.
So please in the
Google Drive itself where everybody is right.
Yeah. We've been using this tool called Asana, where we store stuff, and then
Yeah, but you see, like everything is like from everywhere. So if we could use this web page to have all the videos, like the these meetings, the documents, and who we are, I think we're right.
yeah.
And it's like a really
But we
big
need to
milestone.
really make it visual actually. We want to put it on everything.
Yeah, exactly. That's my comment that maybe some ideas.
As Mike said, I want to be as transparent as possible.
Yeah, okay, that's
There's nothing complicated.
Yeah.
That's it. And,
So if you do you think you could help us with this idea to have those three things open out in the public?
Yeah. I think the main thing is collecting people's email addresses. And then from there we can give them. I don't know. I think that's a dedicated conversation that because I've already thought about it a little bit. I do web stuff as my day job, so I know I have some ideas about how we're gonna do it. But yeah. Let's talk about it next time.
Is this, can somebody sign up to be a member or register to be a member?
That's what we're trying to do with the form. So the form is gonna.
And maybe send newsletters or something like that. I just want to know.
Is there a way to? Yeah, we're reading now the discuss.newspace.nyu, NYC.
yeah, discussion forum, right? People would post some topics or some questions, then let others would react.
So sign up, log in. Can I press here? Where's this computer? How can I log in? With Google? Are you in Google's? Google?
Hey guys, sorry, I have a meeting at 7:30.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah, so we will talk about it later, but I think it could give us like a strong marketing. I don't know how to say that.
Yeah, I think basically all the resources that you're mentioning are kind of there, either on the site or on shared Google Drive. And it's just a matter of kind of maybe making sure they're all the same levels.
Yeah.
Yeah, these things we can figure out. So like, a bunch of us have submitted a little short bio paragraph, who we are, why we like space, something like that.
And where
so it'd be good just where you're going to email either me or Sydney or somebody. Just get all these bios together. That's one of the elements you mentioned.
Yeah.
On the website, right?
But if I wanted to read your bio, can I find it somewhere?
Yeah, so the bios right now are on Google Drive, on shared drive. So I think it's, once we have your email addresses, we'll share the drives with you guys.
Okay.
But I think you're right, just like when you're doing outreach. Just here's the link.
Yeah, so it's not
so I can have it
like
all.
in the interaction, it's like easily shareable.
Yeah, especially like programs, things like that, you want to have the easy to walk right away. Right away, find out what's there.
All right.
Yeah, I guess we need email addresses and bios.
Mike, I think we're set here, Sean.
We'll see you guys. Good to see you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Sean, good luck with the talk with Beth tomorrow. So looking forward to hearing more about it on next Tuesday.
Awesome. All right. Yep. Talk to you guys later.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
See ya.
guys.
Have a good weekend.
Happy weekend.